episode of Dark Skies Podcast coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. Today we're talking Endgame and Infinity Wars and its connection to the Mandela Effect as we focus in on the Time Stone. So make yourselves comfortable, light them if you got them. We're going deep into the night. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back in a few seconds. Dark skies, man. Hello. We're going deep into the night. You found Dark Skies Podcast, the podcast to cover everything strange, current events, news and information, and everything Mandela Effect. Yes, indeed, man. We're just having fun. We're going into the night. We got the whole crew together. For some of you just joining us for the first time, Dark Skies Podcast is a place where we shine light in the dark areas, make sense of the senseless, and have fun while we're doing it as we cover everything under the sun and far beyond. So, man, got the whole crew here too, man. We are once again experiencing a beautiful night here in Los Angeles, California. And, of course, we always record live here. This is home. The home base for our team. I'm your host, LC Graves. Matthew Knox is in the building, show's contributor. We also got Jim helping out with the sound levels and Becky organizing tools tonight. So, we got the whole crew here. We're talking Mandela Effect. We're talking Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War. And we're basically focusing today on the Time Stone and strange correlations between the MCU, which is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the Mandela Effect community. And some of these effects that are, plaguing our reality today. So, we like to dig as deep as we can to try to understand, what's going on in this crazy world that we call reality. Now, some people think that in times that we're living in, that the reality that we live in doesn't match the current memories of some of the people that are living in today's world. Now, better described as the Mandela Effect, this condition basically affects people's memories, their perception of reality. Now, we spend many days covering this subject, many podcasts, as you can see on demand. But it's funny that we seem to get no closer to the overall answer. What's going on? Well, one thing we do know as, Mandela Effect community members, as well as community researchers, that this effect seems to cover so many different aspects of time, space, reality, and definitely movies. So as we did our research and we was covering some of the movies that were affected by the Mandela Effect, we decided, oh man, this is just taking so much. It's covering so many different areas. There's no escape. We need to breathe. So, of course, during the holidays, we had Christmas and, here and there we take time off to breathe, because you can't research 24 hours a day, right? You gotta breathe, relax, take it all in, experience life. Well, as I was doing it, I decided to, watch a few movies and, take my mind off of this Mandela Effect craziness, all these tsunamis and just all the stuff that's going on in the world that, my podcast cover. Well, one of the movies that I was watching was the Avengers Infinity War. And I was just noticing, like, some of the correlations in this movie and what's happening in the real world. Now, I say the real world because I'm talking about the real world as perceived by Mandela Effect community members. People who are affected by the Mandela Effect see things slightly different, whether it be because of the Mandela Effect or because of your own personal perceptions of the things that you're experiencing on that particular moment. Well, anyway, not to get too confusing, um, I was starting noticing small correlations in these particular part of the movie. And the part I'm talking about is the Infinity Stones. And the Infinity Stones basically are in the MCU, and basically they control an essential aspect of reality or existence or time and space, or however you want to say it. Each stone controls an essential aspect of, our universe. So, trying to understand this movie, I was like, okay, there's six stones, there's six aspects. Each stone that controls each individual aspect. You have time, space, soul, mind, and power. So, I mean, it's just so much information. I'm sorry, y'all. I got my notes in front of me. But basically, what I'm trying to say is each infinity stone controls a central aspect of time and space. And then you have what's happening in the Mandela Effect. And then you say, okay, the Mandela Effect can be broken down into essential, into each one of these categories, Now, each aspect of space is controlled by an infinity stone. And then, then we have our normal reality, which we're experiencing in our day-to-day life. And then you have the Mandela effect. And then you have the changes that people that are experiencing the Mandela effect are witnessing. Okay, now these changes fall under each aspect that an infinity stone could actually control. Now, I know it's strange and it's kind of confusing, but if you just roll with me. Now, the last show I did was over the Mind Stone, and I talked about how the Mind Stone could be used in our current reality. Now, we're taking it from the movie and using it in this current reality that we live in day to day. Now, if you did have the Mind Stone, I was telling people that then the Mandela effect would be possible. Now, I know what y'all thinking, like, there's no such thing as a real Mind Stone. Of course not. I'm just using it as a way to describe what's going on with the Mandela effect. Now, of course, there's not a Mind Stone, but there's something affecting people's minds when it comes to this effect. Now, today we're focusing on the Time Stone, and I know y'all thinking, like, well, what the hell did the Time Stone got to do with the Mandela effect? Well, one of the aspects of the Mandela effect that's really been evident during my research is that time has been affected. Now, in many ways now. First of all, our perception of time. Time is going faster. Days are going faster. Weeks are going by faster. Months are going past. Years are going past very quickly. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but maybe it's our perception of time and how long it takes for things to happen. But me personally, I feel like time has speeded up. And not just time has speeded up. We look at the Mandela Effect, and we look at all the different things that has been affected. And I like to say time has been affected because the Mandela Effect goes all the way back through time. We talk about logos of vehicles. We talk about logos just of all kinds of companies and businesses. Starbucks, coffee, right? Versus Starbucks. Cup O noodles versus cup of noodles. I mean, we can go on the Ford logo. So it's just so many different areas. But when it comes to these changes, they seem to stretch all the way back across time. Hitler having blue eyes. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can go back in history and you can say, that's not right, or it's changed. It doesn't match my memory. I can look at the JFK assassination, the past, and the information that I remember, receiving or understanding about the situation that happened back during the event doesn't match the actual event or historical accounts of this exact same event. I have memories of 4 people in the vehicle, and then if you look at the accounts of this same event, in my memory, it says 6 people. Okay, now then that's a change in history versus, some of the things that we look and we say, okay, it's changed now. Maybe the color of the Chevron logo has flipped, from red at the top to blue at the top. Or maybe the stop signs or the stop lights have changed, from green at the top to red at the top. So whatever, you see, you say, okay, these are changes. And then if you go back into time, you say, okay, well, maybe these changes are recent, like the Target change and some of the logos of some companies that are reinventing themselves or reinventing their logos. And you say, okay, they changed over time. But then you go back through time and you say, oh, no, there was no change. It started out with this and it doesn't match. Now you're saying, no, something's wrong. Something's not working here. I'm trying to put my mind together so it'll match this reality, but it's not. My perception is incorrect, or reality that I'm perceiving is incorrect. So, and it seems to stretch all the way back through time. So when you think about the movie, we're going to really get into the effects of the time stone and how it was used in the movie. And not just the movie Infinity Wars, but the movie Doctor Strange and how he was able to manipulate time using this stone. And how is it possible for time to be manipulated in real life or in real reality? Is it possible that somebody has a time stone? Is it possible that somebody is using this to manipulate our past, our history? Maybe it's not our memories that's being changed, but actual past. Is time travel possible? Well, we're going to talk a little bit more when we come back. We're going to take a little break. Right now we're talking time stone, Infinity Wars, Endgame, and the possible correlations to this crazy reality we're living in the Mandela Effect. So, thanks for joining us. You're listening to Dark Skies Podcast, coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. Wow, this is a crazy topic. Confusing, but we're going to get it out. We'll be right back.
My whip from the old school. Number bosses around us. And you ain't got no pool. So much champagne, you're drowned in it. OG wrote a pound of it. Keep it G, you like the sound of it. Came to spend money, who's counting it? I'm the realest in the drop, just left the dealer in this outfit. I'm a killer, tell the coppers I ain't innocent. If it's poppin', then I'm in it. Own it all, you probably rent it. When I talk, you niggas listen. 30,000, I'ma spin it.
Hella bottles in my section. Throwing money on the floor. And now I ain't on the guest list. I walk right in through the door.
I'm so turned up, so turned up, so 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 mixing gin up with the tequila, smoke a reefer. Got it twisted thinking I don't get fucked up, make you a believer. Cameras outside, there go Young Khalifa. No keys, left the 69 inside, cause my license just expired. I'm in my Cadillac, I don't drive. Hit the club and get so high. And I don't really know about y'all, but all of my niggas got bank. I'm paying for all of these bottles. I'm a boss, nigga, fuck you think. Good weed, good drink, better clothes, fast cars, club owners, let us smoke. Grind hard, you don't work hard, you never know how I feel to have a couple niggas that's real.
Hella bottles in my section, throwing money on the floor. And now I ain't on the guest list, I walk right into the door.
I'm so turned up, so turned up, so 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 I'm get higher, get higher, get higher, get higher, get higher.
Oh yeah, you're listening to the Dark Scout podcast coming to you live from Los Angeles, California, to the Bay to LA. And we're going deep into the night, talking about this crazy Mandela Effect, talking about Infinity Wars, the Time Stone, and some of the powers that were displayed in the movie from this stone. And if this stone existed in our reality, could it be used to cause some of these effects that we call the Mandela Effect? Well, perhaps. Now, everybody who understands the Mandela Effect understands that it goes all the way back into time. It affects every aspect of existence. Time, space, mind, body, soul. So all of these different things are affected, right? So what does it mean, for reality to be switched? What does it mean for history to be affected? So we're going to focus in on the Time Stone today. And basically the Time Stone in the MCU has traveled. But basically we got an introduction of it and understanding of its use and its powers are in the movie Doctor Strange. Now, the Doctor Strange basically used the Io Agamotto, and basically inside of it housed the Time Stone. Now, the Time Stone basically in the Doctor Strange movie was used to manipulate time. Now, time could be frozen, reversed, or as in Infinity Wars, could be used to look forward to see possible futures of multiple universes. Now, I say multiple universes because in the movie, Doctor Strange went forward into time and saw over 14 million possibilities for his upcoming battle with Thanos. Now, that's a lot of possibilities, right? So that's basically told me that, there was over 14 million universes where this battle took place. And that they were trying to, put themselves on a path where they would give themselves the best chance of winning. Where Doctor Strange, of course, at the end of his vision, explained to the Guardians and Tony Stark that he only saw one time where they were able to win and that they lost all the other conflicts. So basically, 1 out of over 14 million. So, like I said, horrible odds to go into a battle knowing that you only have one chance out of over 14 million possibilities to win. But it showed me that, the Time Stone, gave him the ability to see into these possible futures. Not just the future that they were experiencing, but all other possible futures. So that alone, just makes you wonder, like, this is a very powerful tool when it comes to, being able to understand time, space, understand the past, understand the present, the future, and be able to manipulate them, bend them to your will. Something happened that you don't want to happen, you can actually reverse time and start over. And it'll be just like whatever you didn't want to happen never happened. Now, in Doctor Strange, I remember that Mordo warned Doctor Strange that using the Time Stone could be costly. It could create time paradoxes and time loops and, like tears in the fabrics of reality. And we start to wonder, like, what happened during the Mandela Effect? And is it anything like what Mordo was warning about when it came to time paradoxes and time loops and tears in the fabrics of time and space and reality and dimensional, you know, it's just crazy when you start to, watch these movies and you start to say that there's some crazy stuff going on in our reality. And sometimes the best way to describe or to articulate what you're perceiving in our reality, sometimes movies do a good job of presenting these things. Because you see how hard it is for me to try to explain the Mandela Effect. I've done so many videos. I've talked to so many people. I've done so many different research. I've traveled to so many different places just to try to understand this better. And, like I said, I'm nowhere close to getting to the answer. I just feel like, I'm opening books in a large library. And each book, houses a different story. So it's so incredible when you think about all these different possibilities, all of these different aspects, time and space. Now, when the Mandela Effect, you say the history has been altered, time has been altered, or our perception of time has been altered. But also the possible futures have been altered. So all of these different things affect time. You can go back and say, okay, did Ford change their logo? And then history says no. So if history says one thing, your mind says another thing, and it's not matching. So you have a disconnect. What happened to us where our time, our memory of our timeline doesn't match the actual timeline? And then it makes you say, wow, something's really going on here. And I think I'm scratching the surface when it comes to this Mandela Effect and these movies and these different infinity stones. I mean, the time stone could be used in our reality and definitely used to create some of these effects that we call the Mandela Effect. And I'm going to talk more about the time stone and how it could be used to cause some of these crazy effects that we're living through today. Man, is it real? Or is it just a movie? Or all of this stuff starting to convolute and mix together? Who knows? Right now, man. You listening to Dark Skies Podcast coming to you live from Los Angeles, California, from the Bay to LA. The whole team in here, going deep into the night. Man, light them if you got them.
Think it's a game.
I got money way before the deal. Put my bitches in new pair of heels. I might fuck your hoe and pay a bill. Yeah, we were taught to get it how we live. Yeah, I got your horn on a leash. Got a pluggy Vietnamese. We the niggas that wanna be. Cause we got the key to the streets. We got the key to the streets. Hey, we got the key to the street. Yeah, we got the key to the streets. Hey, we got the key to the street. Hey, yeah. Young nigga from the north. Yo, got my eye on the street like a hawk. Yo, rap 'em, put 'em on the boat. Boy, you better not choke. And there ain't no one to know. No. We got that key to the streets. Everybody notice me. Used to dream about 50,000 in my jeans. Now 50,000 cheap to me. Remember the days watching the Hot Boys and Master P. Now I'm down in Miami, one phone call, I pull up on Weezy. All of my niggas with me, you feel me? Straps on everybody in the building. All of my niggas came from deal, or either they kick it indoors or still. I feel like I'm not having no feel. Before the fancy $250,000. Came from robbing piece of man at the top of popping buildings. I got money way before the deal. Put my bitches in new pair of heels. I might fuck your hoe and pay a bill. Yeah, we were taught to get it how we live. Yeah, I got your horn on a leash. Got a plug key to the streets. We got the key to the streets.
Hey, we got the key to the
Real
streets.
trap shit,
We got the key to the streets.
Hey, we got the key to the streets. I'm from the dirty. We play dirty. All these sticks, they dirty. We don't fight, get murdered. Hey, and my niggas said, fuck it, then I'm sorry for you. Hey, and my niggas ain't fucking, then get that whole hurry. Yeah. Real trapper never seen a drought. We gon' ship them out. Any problem, we gon' air them out. What they talking about? We don't count, we win now. No, we ain't serving no ounce. We sell purple, we ain't never out. We ain't never out. Hey, hit up Quavo, we gon' need another bando. I'ma flood that bill with more key than a piano. Yeah, all these bitches say they love me, I'm so handsome. Yeah, they know about Lucci going out soon, they gon' tell you. Yeah.
I got money way before the deal. Put my bitches in new pair here.
I might fuck your hoe and pay a bill. Yeah, we was taught to get it how we live. Yeah,
I got your hoe on the list. Got a plug in Vietnamese. We the niggas that wanna be. Cause we got the key to the streets. We got the key to the streets.
hey, we got the key to the street. Yeah,
We got the key to the streets.
hey, we got the key to the street.
DJ
yeah.
Jazz.
I got the key to the street, my nigga, just like Dr. Dre, he got the beat. Where he
Yeah,
come from?
I come straight up out of 1500, that to block my niggas over east. Whoa,
Double cup with no iced tea. Put me your phone before I go to sleep.
got to fuck around and landing in the hot pill, geeking out the hen and the lean. Whoa, take out.
So school.
Go ahead, take out.
24/7, no day off. Ballin' like we in the playoffs. 20 bitches at the playhouse. You quit the freeze up when they K out. If that bitch ain't tryna fuck, I kick her out the house like Martin Lil Bitty, bitch, stay out.
They like to whoop it till the K's out. Get to looking for some ways out.
Your niggas ain't working, you laid off. Trouble decapitate him, blow his face off.
Won't get it till these niggas laid out.
Assassinate and knock him up like I'm Adolf.
Been getting money 19 with a 650 nut semen stunting B.I.P.
I got money way before
Blood.
the deal.
Yeah,
Put my bitches in new pair here.
I might fuck your hoe and pay a bill. Yeah, we was taught to get it how we
Talk to her,
live.
Luke.
Yeah,
I got your hoe on the list. Got a plug in Vietnamese. We the niggas that wanna be. Cause we got the key to the streets. We got the key to the streets.
hey, we got the key to the street. Yeah,
We got the key to the streets.
hey, we got the key to the street. Yeah,
Key to the streets. And we got the key to this podcast. You listening to Dark Skies Podcast, coming to you live from Los Angeles, California, from the Bay to LA, all the way down to San Jose, up to Sacramento, back down to San Diego, to the East Coast. Man, the tri-state area, my friends over in Virginia, all my friends down in Florida, my friends in Carolina, both Carolinas, Texas, Louisiana, all the way across the pond to the UK and Germany and France, Poland, my friends up in Canada, all the way down to New Zealand, the new land down under, Australia, the old land down under. And we just having fun because we're learning more about the world. We're living in a new dimension, new time, new space, new reality. All these things are happening. We're growing as a species, trying to understand, trying to formulate ideas and theories to better describe this experience. Because it is crazy, I'm telling you. But it's not an easy one to make out, you know what I'm saying? Because we're talking multiple realities. We're talking multiple timelines. And speaking of multiple timelines, is that something that really could be possible? Now, we think about time travel like in relevant terms, like time machines. You get in the machine, you travel back in the past and get out the machine. And now, we get to see things in a different way, right? More different than anything that I ever remember. Now, time being manipulated with a jewel, a stone. Now, this is crazy because in the MCU, I believe that, they're sentient. I mean, the Infinity Stones, they have a conscience. They're firing. I mean, I remember when the Mind Stone was taken and it was firing. And I remember Tony Stark's studying it, and it was like it's a brain. It's like a supercomputer, or it houses some type of intelligence. Even Red Skull said that the Soul Stone housed a sort of wisdom about it, and demanded a sacrifice. The Time Stone as well. You know, the Time Stone was with Doctor Strange and could not be taken. And he said it was a simple spell that could not be broken though, once applied. So basically, you know, the Time Stone was in his possession and with him. You know, he was the wielder. So think about it, y'all. You know, the Time Stone gave Doctor Strange the ability to manipulate time. As you can see with the eaten apple, and then, you know, he reversed time, and then that bite went back, another bite, another bite, and then it became a full apple. Then he reversed time, and it goes back and becomes a eaten apple. The same thing with at the end of the movie when Doctor Strange was able to traverse through time and space from our dimension into the dark dimension, where he took the Time Stone and basically, you know, defeated Dormammu. Now, Dormammu is a cosmic entity, you know, from a dark dimension, a completely different dimension than ours, a dimension void of time. And when Doctor Strange took the Time Stone into the dark dimension and used it against Dormammu, well, Dormammu has never experienced time. He locked him in a time loop and let him experience time just on a short loop. And that was enough to, you know, break the most powerful being in that dimension. You know, he's like, oh man, time? Like, what is this? And of course, you know, he couldn't deal with it. He's like, you know what? You know, release me. Let me up out of this, you know. I don't like time. But it just shows you that, you know, time could be used as a weapon. Now, in the Mandela Effect, you know, time can be used as a weapon. When you go back into time and alter things and change things, and then people look at history, and history is different, then it's like time has been weaponized, especially when you go back and change important events, you know, like Hitler's eye color, or, you know, how many people was in the car during the JFK assassination, you know? Why are you going back and changing, like, important events? And what other important events that was changed that happened on a smaller level? You know, like this person's missing, or this person is, you know, lost and, you know, on purpose, you know, but this person really, you know, was a grandfather, somebody who was going to be really important. Or this person just happened to accidentally get run over by a car or eaten by a buffalo. I mean, who knows? If you can go back in time, you know, push a person in front of a wagon and then alter the future of something that was supposed to happen, you know, during these times, but it couldn't happen because the person who was supposed to do it got pushed in front of a wagon by a time traveler. Now, I'm just saying, you know, these are possibilities, theories that I'm just throwing out. You know, who knows if any of it is true. But I do tell you one thing, that something happened in the past, and it was a way for this to happen. Now, I ain't saying that somebody actually has a time stone and was able to alter and go back and change time. I'm just saying that something has changed time, and the best way for me to describe it or articulate it or relate it to anything is the use of a time stone or infinity time stone. You know, the way Doctor Strange was able to go back and change things, you know, because in the movie Doctor Strange, we lost. You know, the dark dimension was engulfing our dimension. And he actually went back, stopped time, and basically went up and, you know, defeated Dormammu and reversed it all. So, like in a movie, reality seems to be altered. Like time was frozen or something, or maybe somebody had the ability to, do things or manipulate time. Now, the time stone is very important when it comes to the actual MCU. And I remember seeing in the movie, the Avenger movie, Infinity Wars, how Doctor Strange was able to use the time stone to peer into other dimensions or other possible futures. And to me, that's like looking into other realities and picking which one you want to traverse. And I don't know, the time stone is pretty special if you ask me. And we're going to talk a little bit more about it when I get back. Light them if you got them. We're going to take another break. Man, we're going deeper to the night. Talking infinity stones and time travel, and Mandela Effect. Wow. So stay with us, man. Dark Skies Podcast.
Broken head, and when your favorite rapper rapping, you should cover your ears and go death. Go death, I said. Go death to stay dead. A shot to the forehead to kill him. But I ain't here for no ignorance. I'm militant as Martin Luther King in a penalty. Aiming for my dream till a bullet bounce off one of my deep thoughts and hit a nigga in the spleen. I got it in my jeans. You probably think I'm talking about a pistol, but I'm talking about the blood of a warrior. My nigga, what you worry for? I ain't trying to jack your swag. I'm trying to better my craft and stay relevant. Yeah, as time flies, hope that I'm soaring, far from the boring, my God, tell you why it's important. I'm not the boring, my God. If I think and act like you do, the world will die from not seeing something new. And if I don't speak on how I feel, the world will lose out on what's really real. And if I should die before I wake, I pray my music could take my place. The world. The relevant. I'd rather you call me that than the typical hardest you call whack on a YouTube blog holding 8 R's and stacks of ones, but never can be the one to rally communities or lead a crowd of blacks. Passion is too strong. I'm pissed off, so it's a chance you get pissed on. Or Kelly was in the wrong, but that'll make you an exempt. That'll make you a no-go from hitting the fence. You ain't a blood, a damn show. You ain't a crip. The crowd yell, but I ain't a pimp. I'm me. I'm free. It's a 5-finger discount. See you on the flip side right after I dismount. If I ever feel like I ain't pushing myself, I find a cliff, then push myself off the edge like a barber at the tip of your head. That's how I settle it. Life or death if I ain't relevant. Nigga, as time flies, hope that I'm soaring, far from the boring, my God. Tell you why it's important. I'm not the boring, my God. If I think and act like you do, the world will die from not seeing something new. And if I don't speak on how I feel, the world will lose out on what's really real. And if I should die before I wake, I pray my music could take my place. The world. The relevant. So feel free to not mind me if you're used to boosters, drug dealers, and shooters on wax. Cause most of y'all niggas fabricate facts anyway. I could easily cheat and let the 4-4 play like a 2-on-2 orgy. But I been there and it bores me. Got to the point where it did nothing for me. At 40, I wanna afford not to record bullshit in my story. And I'm mad young, so I'd rather do it now before my career's done. This is pain plus glory. Victory is here. If I cry, you can see strength and pride in my tears. I do it for the kids. I do it for the 23-hour lockdowns doing time in the pen, and my pen is the only thing I got for hip-hop to change the game. If they'll remember my name as the relevant. Woo! As time flies.
You're listening to Dark Skies Podcast, coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. From the Bay to LA, all the way to San Jose, up to Sacramento. Man, I see Washington up here. I see North Dakota and Wyoming, Maine. Man, it's incredible how we spread. It's a beautiful thing. As we cover what I call the most important event in human history, the Mandela Effect, and how it's affecting each and every one of us as I try to bring two worlds together to introduce you to you. But it's funny, y'all, because we're trying to get by and we're trying to figure out some crazy, wild things that seems to be beyond comprehension, yet we're still comprehending it. I mean, because if you're placed in a reality that's similar to your reality, and you start to see the differences, and you start to explain the differences to people who have lived in that reality, and they can never see the differences because reality is the same to them. So you come into the world knowing that there are multiple worlds, and it's almost impossible to try to articulate or explain to the world that, hey, you're not alone. We are not alone. You know, this is an ever-growing society of people who are able to see things on a quantum level, that we're starting to understand things on multiple realities, multiple timelines, multiple universes. So what does it all mean? You know? Well, to me, it means a lot, because I can't remember reading in human history an event more important than the discovery of multiple universes, multiple realities, multiple versions of us living on multiple timelines in different realities, slightly different, you know, different land masses, different world maps, different, you know, some flat earth, some round earth, some hollow earths, you know, and each universe is different. And then, but there's stories of all of these different universes inside of the same universe. And people don't understand why so many different stories. You know, why is there an Atlantis, but there's not an Atlantis here? Or why is there, you know, a North Pole and now there's not a North Pole, you know, but there's still stories of a Santa Claus, you know, where did he live? So it's like so many different, like, elongated realities that don't fit in with a square peg, or maybe you can see one reality but experience a completely different one. And this is what the Mandela Effect is doing. And it goes all the way back through time, because we're talking about changes in the written word, like changes in the Bible. Any way that those words could be changed, and I'm not talking about like the King James Version, you know, like words have been altered. No, I'm talking about the entire Bible being altered while it's in your possession. You know, it's just, these are things that, you know, that breaks the fabric of reality. You know, it's crazy. So I say, you know, if I had a time stone, I could cause the Mandela Effect. I can go back and I can change the Bible. I can go back and I can change movies. I can change words. I can change color schemes. I can change logos. You know, I can go back and change reality. You know, that's what I'm trying to tell people. You know, give me these infinity stones, or one of them, and I can go back and do so many different things. Give me all of them and I can do the Mandela Effect. And that's what I'm trying to explain to people. You know, I'm not trying to say that some motherfuckers walking around with the gauntlet. No, I'm just saying that, you know, you can correlate the effects of these infinity stones to the effects of the Mandela Effect. Now, I'm not saying nothing for sure. I'm just saying that it's weird to me. And I'm seeing a correlation. I'm seeing connections. I'm seeing connections from movies. I'm seeing connections from this Marvel Cinematic Universe and the stories that they're telling. And it seems to be like more there, because, you know, if you watch a Marvel movie, it's connected to another Marvel movie. You see another Marvel movie, it's connected to another Marvel movie. And if you see all of them, you see that they all are connected, and then they all tell a huge story. Well, that's how the universe is made. And the universe is connected with all these different solar systems and galaxies, and, all of them seems to be connected. They're moving and interacting with each other. And this is what we're learning more as we experience life, reality on a multiple level. So this is where we're going, and this is what we're seeing. And I don't know what you're seeing, but all I can tell you is what we see. And then you can tell me what you think, because it doesn't end with my research or Mikey's research or Jennifer or any of my friends over in Virginia or over in the UK. People send information from all over the world because everybody have ideas. People in Germany have ideas about this topic. And, we meet on YouTube. People subscribe to the channel. They check out the podcast when we do new shows. They leave well thought out comments. People on Twitter, are there. They see when we release new shows, and, the topics are interesting because we're trying to open eyes and trying to shed light on situations that people are not even discussing. But yet it's important to each and every one of us. So like I always tell people, if you miss the show live like most do, you can catch us on demand. Go to Spreaker.com. Go to iHeartRadio. We're on so many different platforms. All our friends on YouTube, they've been with us for a long time. All our friends on Twitter, Facebook, all my family members, friends, community members, researchers, DJs, what you call stars. We're just people out here trying to figure this out. It's very important people that are part of this movement to try to find out the truth to tell us what happened to us and what happened to you and what's happening to us now and what's going to happen. All of those are aspects of time. So this is what we got. It's not much, but it's a beginning. So once again, I'm your host, LC Graves, Matthew Knights, Jim, Becky, and the ones and twos. And we just want to thank each and every one of y'all for staying up late with us. And like I said, if you missed the show, feel free to download it so you can play it, while you're at work or before you go to bed or while you're washing the dishes or whatever it is what you do. But just feel free to join us on this journey. But for now, we got a lot to learn, folks. But like Dr. Strange, our time is running out. But I'm trying not to dust away. I'm trying to survive the snap. But it's crazy, folks. But we will be back. Thanks for joining us. Dark Skies Podcast. Live from Los Angeles, California. Wow. Mandela Effect. It's like it just don't end.